Hello, Rosebuds. It is your girl, Ebony Rose, and today's video is going to be about death. This video is geared to anyone who has had death on their minds, anyone who has been suicidal lately or in the past, or it comes to mind every now and then, and anyone that is curious. This is a video for the somber ones, those whom are in somber, those whom are depressed, those who dwell in this feeling of melancholy. This video is not geared towards those whom are giddy, whom are so filled and so overjoyed. If you are that, good for you. However, this video is not for you, and I don't want to be the one to blow your vibe. So, toodles. If you are still here, then welcome. This is a video, as I've been doing lately, that is created in the spur of the moment. However, this will not be my last video on this topic, and this might very much well be a series, because I do feel like topics like this is very important, and people like you who are perhaps watching this video need to be catered to in subjects like this, because I'm assuming if you're on this channel, you are the one that dwells in the shadows. You are the one that seems to be cloaked in this sense of invisibility. You are the one whom soul is crying out, yet no one hears you. You are the one whom, though you walk in this life, you feel dead inside. You're like a living zombie. You are in this world, but it's as if you merely exist. This video is for you. You are here, but perhaps you want to off yourself, and you're thinking about doing so, and you're thinking about methods of doing so. This video is for you. I want you to know that, again, because this video is in the spur of the moment, I may not touch on all of the key points that I aim to touch on today. However, this will not be the only video, as I have so much to guide you on this path of what we know as death and dying. I want to first address those whom are suicidal. So, for those who are suicidal, you are in the right channel. I know exactly how you feel. And I would liken myself to be the best person to speak to you about this, because not only have I experienced this, not only have I had those thoughts in the past, and even now, sometimes. However, it's not the same as it was in the past. You are in the right space, and I will guide you towards these somber thoughts. For reasons in which I've explained and matters in which I've already pointed out, you may have this emotion of being suicidal. It's not easy, and you don't know how to express yourself. You can't tell anyone, because even if you go to a psychiatrist, if you was to express this, then you would probably be locked up. And the whole reason behind you wanting to commit this act in the first place is to free your soul. You don't feel free, and you're longing for freedom. Perhaps it's freedom from sadness. Perhaps it's freedom from an ongoing entrapment. Nonetheless, it's a freedom that you seek. And right now, you may have tried all other ways, and those ways have been proven to be of no use. And you see your only way in obtaining such freedom is to off yourself. Now, it's tough, especially when you don't have anyone to speak to about it, because even when you do express yourself, for one, people aren't going to believe you. Until you actually do the act, people don't believe you. To them, you are full of crap. And two, even if you was to seem to be on the brink of committing that act, you will only get generic responses from people on why you shouldn't, because life is so precious. Perhaps you'll get responses like, you are so ungrateful, or worse, go ahead and do it. These are all off-putting responses, because if you actually seek out to tell someone, it's because you're looking for another soul, another being, another energy field that can at least accept you unconditionally with open arms, and to help you deal and go through that. Well, responses like that, obviously you have not gotten to that space, because first and foremost, people don't feel you on that level. People may be irritated with you. You don't get that compassion. And again, you are not received authentically and with love. See, love, at least for me anyway, contains a sense of realness. Love, real love anyway, in the way that I see it, harbors this sense of truth. It's not a love in the way this world alludes it to be, encompassed with what we've been programmed. I'm sorry. Every now and then, when I come to speak on important topics, I cough like this because it's as if I have this opposing force that does not want me to get out what I am looking to get out to benefit whom I think it's supposed to benefit. Ever since I was a youngster, I've had my voice taken away from me. I have not been able to speak my mind. I have not been able to communicate in an effective way. And in me doing these videos right now is me more so shattering this spell that has been placed over this particular area of my life. But anyway, back to where we're going to. Now, the thing with this, I really hope it's not a long video because I have not even scripted anything out. It's just something that I wanted to get out there to you, especially on this Day of the Dead, and with us going into the winter and knowing that there are people in solitude, people who are in baby stages. Now you're talking to someone who has passed those stages, and I've passed them successfully, but I could have very much well been like you. I was like you. I could have still been there, or I could have actually committed the act. However, I'm here to let you know right now that if you want to commit the act, here's how to go about it. You must plan forth this act, but not in the off-putting sense in which you're thinking, because granted, so many things could go wrong with that. If you are not successful, you could very much well damage your vessel and be entrapped in this vessel like we already are in a worse predicament, and you don't want that. So whether it's going over and above on a bridge or on a building or whatever, or something quick, I'm not gonna name it all, if you are not successful, you will be in a worse off position. Even if you are successful, in the motion of actually having that done, if you are in fear and you leave with your cortisols up, flared up, not in calm, having released so much karmic debt that have not been paid, then I'm here to tell you, you will reincarnate back. Why? Because death in itself is like a crown of honor. So if you was to exit in a way that is cowardice, and though in a way the act might be brave, because to actually commit the act, come on, a lot of people, let's face it, a lot of people don't do it because of the fear behind it. So there is some level of bravery to you for you actually wanting to do it, but there's still a cowardice essence attached to it, because it shows that you don't want to face what's here in front of you, and you also, that real version of you in that other reality that's looking at here as a dream, just as your subconscious mind views your dream world as the dream, you would not have merged. And the whole purpose here is for you and that other aspect of you to integrate. But it became a game over just like that, without ever reaching that point. And then on top of that, you exit, but you exit in a cowardice way, because you forfeit all of your levels, all of your challenges. Death did not call for you, right? Death did not call for you, but yet here you are knocking on death's door, and here you appear, and whatever preparations was supposed to be made for you on the other side has now been thrown off, and then you get kicked out anyway. So you feel rejected in this life, thinking that you're going to be accepted in the afterlife, only to be rejected in the afterlife and to be sent back again. And then the next reincarnation could be far worse. So then you're going to be living where you create a life of agony in that next experience. So now that we've covered that, I just want to give you something to think about in going about seeking what it is that you're looking for with this death. This death, so you are not rejected, is supposed to come in an honorable way. It should come in a way where you are a hero of some sort. Perhaps you are looking to save someone, or let's say, example, a child is about to, God forbid, but like extreme situations, something is about to happen to someone, maybe it's a younger person, and you step in front. For example, like how police do, right? The good ones, when they risk their life and then they perhaps take a bullet. Sorry, this does seem to be the reality these days. I don't even want to use a cop as an example, because it's not what I've come off to see, but it does exist. So perhaps we could use that example. But any good Samaritan that puts their life on the forefront for someone else, that is an act of virtue. That is something in which death, this entity death, which I would like to digress on forward in another video, but this is what they would commend you for, this death energy, upon you coming to the other side. If it's for a cause in which you so believe to where you're looking to even lay down your life, that is something that you would be commemorated for on the other side. This is what you want to seek in this life, while you harbor this thought. You want to have death on your side. So hear me out, hear me again. Rather than you actually committing the act of offing yourself, you want to become death's friend. You cannot become death's friend offing yourself, because again, it has a energy of cowardiceness tied to it. Therefore, you cannot bear the honor of death. If death did not call for you, and you did not leave an honorable route in something that is part of your livelihood, part of who you are, in which when you leave, there is no fear that's tied to it, no cortisol that's flaring up, then you will not be accepted in the other realm with open arms, and you will be kicked out. Think of it this way. You leave one family because you're not really feeling that family. You come from a family you're not really feeling, and then you go to another family because you feel like they would accept you with open arms, only for them to also reject you and kick you out. That's how it is. So while you're in that family, if there is no other pathway for you to escape, then you must rise in your energy. And in you rising in your energy, that within itself will create new pathways for you to ascend even way beyond past that family. Well, that's how it is with living a life that you feel entrapped in a meaningful way, so that you can be accepted in the realms of death to embrace you. So I think I explained that. If there's anything else I would leave you with, it would be to begin to embrace loneliness. If you have such thoughts, it's because there's an ego aspect of you that has been disintegrated. And in that disintegration, layers have peeled to where you see things in a whole other perspective, perhaps in a somber perspective. Accept it. Accept the pain, because I know what I'm going to say right now, you're not going to want to hear it. But listen, with this pain that you're feeling, on the other side there is joy. And when you go through that joy, best believe pain is not that far behind it. So we want to get in the rhythm of dancing. This whole essence with this life and death thing. You don't want to be a victim to anything. If anything, you want to become the victor, which is why when you encounter death, you want to bear the crowns of death. So that means you got to embark on life. As a matter of fact, in you embarking life, you embrace death. Granted, you make your life something meaningful to where you want to live. But in you wanting to live for what you stand for in life, it weighs so much on you, or it matters so much to you, that you are also willing to die for it. So this is the first part. This is going to be the first part of the video. I don't want to lay out too much. Again, this is something that has just came from my mind. I always say that I'm going to script these out, but I do have some things that I need to attend to. So I didn't have the time to script out, but it was important for me to get this video out today, on the Day of the Dead, November 2nd, 2024. But best believe I will not leave you hanging. I will hold your hand. I will guide you on how to go about actually embarking this journey with embracing death. The same way life is recruiting you to do life's bidding, which in a sense, which we'll digress into, there is the same thing flipping. It's like a flip of a different side of the coin, but it's the same coin. Okay, let's bring that separation in the midst, right? The same way that life recruits you to take on a certain task is the same way that death will do the same exact thing. Life recruited you because it knows that you harbor the necessary tools within to take on the task of embarking on this here life. And it's the same thing that death will need you for as well. But if you go out in a quote unquote pussy way, they will have no use for you. If you deem yourself useless in this life, you will also be useless in death. And you don't want to be reincarnated back here, especially in the worst situation with more heavyweight karma. If you feel the way you feel right now, it's because of a past karma, and it's something that you need to deal with in this lifetime, or it will become, the weight will become even more heavier, and you not completing it in this lifetime and looking to escape and take what really is the easy way out will force you back here with a heavier weight to bear. Because if you can't be useful in life, you also cannot be useful in death. So hear my words. This is to sum it all up. However, like I said, I will hold your hand in all of this to root you out of this suicide. I'm not saying to be scared or have this fear of death. Death is inevitable, so we might as well make death our friends. But we're not going to do it from a sorry place, from a victim place. You feel me? Because even those that are really don't care, who you don't care, or those who is just don't know what to say, but it's just fronting you some nice generic words, hoping that you get through with that. Once you're done, a lot of times, especially with people who commit suicides, they are forgotten. Like I said, you always want to take on death in an honorable way in which you could bear the crown. If it ain't that, then you're leaving with karmic debt, and you're gonna have to pay that debt regardless. And if you were not able to make yourself useful here, you will not be able to make yourself useful there. And in order for you to join back in with the one, join back in with love, or with you, or with your higher self, or with Allah, or with Ashera, or with Akasha, you must rise. Okay, so now I'm saying a little too much. This is a vast topic, something that really needs time to dissect. I've never tuned into a YouTube to where I've seen somebody give a topic like this justice. I know this is not something that I ran across, and I sort of had to find ways to pick myself out of that rut. However, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything more. Just tune in to the next video where I dive into more key points when it comes to facing death and facing a holy death. You don't want to face a crappy death. It has been real. This is your girl, Ebony Rose. And until we meet again, bloom, bloom, rosebuds, bloom.